You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This game is going to be a fun one, honestly. If you look at the matchups actually on the field, it's going to be a fun matchup. And people that have watched or listened to my show over the last couple of years know that I have a soft spot in my heart for Oklahoma. This is kind of a fun game going against the Oklahoma Sooners. They always make jokes and all that about 2 centuries old rivals, and Ole Miss has never lost to Oklahoma. The reality is they play twice. Even permanent rival or not, is just kind of silly. But listen, it's like I said, half of my family are from Lincoln, Nebraska. They are huge Nebraska fans. I was told my whole life that if Ole Miss and Nebraska ever played, Nebraska would kill them. Yeah. Ole Miss is undefeated against Nebraska as well. And so in that case, any game that my uncle was watching Nebraska and Oklahoma, he was pulling for Nebraska. Obviously, I was pulling for Oklahoma. Way back when they had, Keith Jackson and Jamel Holloway and all of those guys running the wishbone at Oklahoma, that had my attention. So this game is going to be a lot of fun, seeing a game in Old Owen Field. I think it's Gaylord Family Stadium now, but a game at Owen Field where they used to have like the huge crown of the AstroTurf back in the day, whenever they basically were playing on a hill at that point. Ole Miss playing a game in that stadium is fun to me. So that's what I'm watching for in that game, and kind of taking it in is getting to see Ole Miss on that field. Because these storied rivals that have played over the course of 2 centuries, I mean, Ole Miss has never played in that stadium. So I'm interested. It's games at 11 o'clock Central Time on ABC. And if Ole Miss comes out quickly, they have a chance to jump on Oklahoma. And if you can score 30 points on this Oklahoma team, Oklahoma hasn't scored 30 points against anybody since they've been in the Southeastern Conference. So there's a lot of things that I am watching for in this game, but how do you get to the point of Ole Miss winning this game? And I think it's pretty simple, honestly. There's a couple of things that you need to watch for. First of all, this game is going to be about Trinidad Chambliss dealing with the pressure from a good OU defense. If you can avoid turning the ball over, if you can avoid disaster plays, if you can avoid defensive explosives, like Ole Miss did a week ago against the Georgia Bulldogs, Ole Miss is going to win this game. If he throws an interception, all of a sudden that leads to a 20-yard short field for the Oklahoma offense, they're likely going to score, and it's going to be more and more problematic the more you do it. This game is going to be about Trinidad Chambliss dealing with pressure. Now, Chambliss needs to use all of his weapons in this game, and I think the tight ends will be of massive importance. I said against Georgia, Ole Miss needed to complete passes to 8 different receivers. They did. Mission accomplished. That absolutely happened. Do that again in this week, and you have a good chance to score and roll as well. I was talking with John Williams from Locked On Sooners, who we're going to do the crossover with tomorrow. But he was asking me about the Ole Miss offense. And I explained, he's like, is Trinidad Chambliss better than Jackson Dart? And I was like, no, but that doesn't mean this offense isn't better than the offense was a year ago. The offense at Ole Miss is head and shoulders above what it was in 2024. Because for as good as Jackson Dart and Trey Harris and all those guys were, they were too reliant on themselves at times. Jackson Dart and Trey Harris, there'd be games where Trey had 11, 12 catches in the game. The next leading receiver would have 2 or 3. This season's different. You're only seeing like 3 or 4 catches, but 8 different players are doing that. So it'll be interesting to see. And finally, block out all of this Florida noise. Just for 3 hours that day, get that win. If you win that game, odds are you're going to the college football playoff. And honestly, you don't even have to worry about this coaching thing anymore, because he's going to be coaching the playoffs. It's what he does. It only gets really weird if you don't block out all of this noise and you lose this game. This is a game that, remember, whenever I made picks back in July, I had Ole Miss losing. I had Ole Miss going 10-2 this season, losing to Georgia and at Oklahoma. So I'm under no illusions that this is going to be an easy test. But Ole Miss can win this game. And if Ole Miss plays well, they will win this game. Don't turn the ball over, no ill-timed penalties. But the place is going to be pretty loud. It's going to be pretty raucous. And it's one of those few times where Ole Miss gets to go play a game in a different place. So it should be a lot of fun. But in this show, as we talked about, the Florida situation with all the rumors and all the noise is sabotaging the Ole Miss football line against the Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma's favored by 5.5 now, even though Ole Miss has 85% of the bets and money placed on them, which means it's an absolute trap set by Vegas, and they think that this Florida noise is going to sabotage Ole Miss. Second of all, we went over the keys of the game. Trinidad Chambliss is going to have to be a star in this game, and Ole Miss's defense has to figure out a way to come up with stops. If they can do that, they're going to be absolutely fine. This Oklahoma team isn't the Baker Mayfield or Kyler Murray era Oklahoma teams, but they're a good team. And if you treat them that way, you should be all right in this game. So thanks again for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day, and thank you for making it the go-to source for Ole Miss sports. We pride ourselves on offering the most comprehensive perspectives, which is why we're the front door of Ole Miss. If you don't believe me, Google Ole Miss podcast and see how much we come up. We're like 85% of that page. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. It helps the show, and it's completely free. Your support means the world to us. In another big moment for Locked On, college football fans, Locked On and Fire TV are presenting College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation. Two-time AP Coach of the Year, Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holly, and Locked On's panel of local experts. A college football preview show that only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. Hotty toddy, everybody. And remember, analytics is just the old English word that means bad football. We'll see you tomorrow.